What's going on, everyone? So, this offseason, when the Lakers put together the roster in which they did, there was a lot of expectations. There was a lot of excitement. Many of us, myself included, thought, like, hey, Lakers just won the offseason. And on paper, you look at this roster, and they should be competing with all the top teams in the league. I mean, there should be a genuine discussion of, like, are the Lakers the best team in the league? And this roster has just been completely underwhelming. Completely. And I know a lot of people want to just blame Darvin Ham, and it's all on Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham's fault and only his fault. And look, he is definitely a huge part of the problem, but he's not the main problem. Like, Darvin Ham isn't the reason that the Lakers' first 14 points was solely LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Darvin Ham isn't responsible for this team not showing up and getting out hustled regularly and missing defensive assignments and not offensive rebounding and D'Angelo Russell scoring 2 points in 28 minutes. Darvin Ham is responsible for him playing 28 minutes. And look, Darvin Ham, again, is part of the problem. His rotations at times are rough and very questionable. His leash for certain players, as I mentioned, D'Angelo Russell getting 28 minutes, only scoring 2 points, things like that are a problem. But the Lakers' issues are beyond just Darvin Ham. You could fire Darvin Ham right now, pick your favorite coach, go get Greg Popovich. It doesn't matter. If the team doesn't show up, who cares? Right? Players can only do so much, or coaches can only do so much. Players have to play their parts. Players have to execute. Players are the ones that are out there playing the game. And the Lakers just seem to be the one team that just underachieves regularly. Every night. It's like some team that we should be just dominating is just running through us and beating us in dominant fashion. We're a terrible road team. We're excellent at home, but we've just been terrible on the road. And this month has been brutal. A lot of road games. Now, maybe next month will be better because, like, a majority of the games next month are at home. But still, how can you believe and trust this team? This team has underperformed in just so many areas. Coaching has been terrible. The players are playing awful. Darvin Ham doesn't utilize guys correctly, right? Like, Rui Hachimura is basically relegated to being a 3-and-D guy when that's not his game, right? Same thing with Christian Wood. Like, the whole point was like, oh, these are guys that you can put on the block, go get you a bucket, hit the mid-range, right? Just score around the rim, be very impactful. Oh, and they can hit the occasional three. Not they can hit the occasional three. Oh, and it's not supposed to be that way. This roster was supposed to be a roster that was competing with the best of them. And again, on paper, this roster looks ridiculous. On paper, it's like, man, you got everything. You got size, you got defensive wings, you got 3-point shooting. Do you see guys like, Austin Reeves has been giving you 20 on a regular basis. Taurean Prince is still shooting excellent. He had that one bad game, but bounced right back. Like, you would think this team would be good. They're 7th in the league defensively. They can't score the basketball. Literally, LeBron James and Anthony Davis are the only guys that can consistently give you buckets. That's it. That's it. These two guys. They scored the first 14 points of the game. And they are primarily the entirety of the offense. We are 7th in the league defensively. We are 26th offensively. We are terrible offensively. Terrible. Because we don't have anybody that on a regular basis can just go score. Austin Reeves has been giving you 20, basically like clockwork, the last, handful and a half of games, right? But he has to work for his buckets. He has to get into the teeth of the defense. He has to, create contact and try to be crafty to score. He can't just blow by his opponent. He can't just shoot over the top, right? Like, he has to work. we don't have any real over-the-top shooting or any real natural scorer. We don't. We don't have any natural scorer. No athletic guard, nothing. Right? Like LeBron can go get a bucket. Anthony Davis can go get a bucket. Don't get me wrong. But they're not natural scorers. Like LeBron, unless his shot is fallen, which can be inconsistent at times, most of his scoring is him just putting his head down and getting to the basket. Right? It's what he does. A good large majority of his points all come from him. Even when his shot is falling, most of his points are coming from him just putting his head down and getting to the basket. Anthony Davis, right? Even when his mid-range is falling, most of his buckets are around the rim. And he needs to be set up, right? He's not a guy that you can just give the ball to and he can just go to work, cross some dudes up, get to the basket. Right? Like the Lakers don't have anything like that. The Lakers are an absolute mess. They are. Like it's frustrating because this is a team that should have been good. It's a team that on paper should have been great. But, look, I love depth. Depth is great. But depth means nothing if if your depth doesn't show up. At that point, you have 12 guys, you just have 12 names. You're no different than a team that has zero depth, right? You're no different than a team that's 6 deep. Because that's basically what the Lakers are. They're like 4 to 5 guys deep. On the occasion, they'll be like 7 to 8 guys deep, when guys are knocking down shots. But there's no consistency on this roster outside of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Lakers desperately need a trade. They desperately need Zach LaVine. And I know a lot of people, his salary is irrelevant. I did a whole breakdown about this, so I'm not going to go too heavily into this. I'll put that video down in the description if you want, or click on the channel, go check it out. But to summarize, the only thing that trading for Zach LaVine would do is just affect the luxury tax that the Lakers have to pay. The Lakers are above the tax right now regardless. Even if they don't make a move, let's say they keep the exact same team. One, they're not a contender. They're not contending with anything. They're not winning a championship. Could they? Of course. Right? You got LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You get them healthy in the playoffs. I'll still take my chances, but I wouldn't bet on them. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, man, Lakers are winning a chip. No one would be shocked because again, they have LeBron James and Anthony Davis, but the reality is that they're not realistically a championship contender. Right. So the Lakers need to go get Zach LaVine. I've been in the camp of I want DeMar, I want all that. There's no guarantee. Chicago's been better since LaVine left. And it's not because of LaVine's skill set. Part of it has been Kobe White just stepping up and playing like an all-star since LaVine went out. And then also LaVine he doesn't him and DeMar DeRozan are in many ways the same player. So a lot of you go, I go type thing. Where LaVine, he gets to kind of just be LaVine on the Lakers. It's perfect. It's a match made in heaven. Right? His ability to shoot off the dribble, his ability to shoot over the top, his ability to just apply rim pressure. The Lakers need to go get Zach LaVine because there's no guarantee that the Bulls are going to trade DeMar DeRozan and anyone else. They could just say no. And then one in the hand is worth two in the bush. You go trade for LaVine because if you don't, and Chicago says, okay, well, we're not trading anyone else, and they end up trading LaVine elsewhere, now the Lakers are in trouble. It's another wasted season, most likely. Unless, again, the Lakers figure it out or, LeBron James turns back the clock to dominate a playoff like the old times. I don't know. But Zach, you could trade for Zach LaVine, trade, D'Lo, Rui, Gabe Vincent, and Jalen Hood-Schifino, and you'd still be 10 deep. If you can get an Andre Drummond and say a Torrey Craig or something like that, now you're 11 to 12 deep. And all these guys you'd have long-term anyway. Again, you still have depth. This isn't a Russell Westbrook situation. The Lakers would have plenty of depth, plenty of talent, and now you have a consistent go-to scorer on top of it. Zach LaVine by himself fixes like 70% of the Lakers' problems. Literally. Now, Austin Reeves, when he goes and gives you 20, it's that much more impactful. Like the games that Reeves gives you 20, you probably never lose. If you do, you're losing very few. Because now his 20 points is just that much more impactful. Right? Let's look at the Bulls game real quick. Right? Let's just to give you an idea. Right? So let's say you trade D'Lo, Rui, Gabe Vincent. In the Bulls game, D'Lo gave you 2 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. Rui gave you 5 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Vincent gave you 3 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists. Them collectively, because people are always like, where's Zach LaVine going to get his shots from? Well, if you trade those guys, D'Lo by himself gets you nearly like 4 shots less than what Zach LaVine's averaging this year. I actually think Zach LaVine will get more shot attempts this year than he does on the Bulls, because he'll be the primary scorer, right? Like he'll be able to just be the bucket getter, especially when LeBron and AD are out of the game or LeBron's out of the game. He's going to have a lot of freedom. But like, let's just look at those 3 guys, right? Between D'Lo, Rui, and Gabe Vincent, they took 19 shot attempts, and collectively on 19 attempts scored 10 points. You don't think Zach LaVine would have scored more than 10 points? Let's say he had a bad game and he gave you like 16. You at least tie Chicago. And then D'Lo gave you 1 rebound, Rui gave you 5, and Vincent gave you 1. So that's 7 rebounds. LaVine will get you like 5. So he get you almost the same amount of rebounds. And then the assists, right? Russell gave you 2, Rui gave you 1, Vincent gave you 3. So that's 6 assists. LaVine will give you like 5 assists. I mean, LaVine's probably with the Lakers alongside LeBron and AD, he's probably a 25-5 guy, minimum, right? The Lakers beat Chicago if LaVine is in that game. That's the difference. Look, I trust Rob Pelinka. I know Rob Pelinka to get the job done. I know he'll figure it out. I know he'll make the move, right? It's just, we got to weather until, another month. Problem is that the Lakers could end up being under 500 by the end of this month, especially the way they're playing. It's tough. It's frustrating. Luckily the West is so tight. Like it really is. It's just like ridiculously tight. So the Lakers are in good shape, right? I mean, you go on a win streak and all of a sudden you're the 2 seed. Like the Lakers are only 3.5 games out of the 2 seed. So it's not like they're just so far away. And I said the Lakers would probably finish somewhere in the 3 to 5 range, right? You look at the fifth seed, they're only 2 games out of 5th. They're only 2.5 games out of 4th. So Lakers are right there. Like, again, that doesn't mean that they can't go the other way, because the Lakers are also only a game and a half on the Warriors for being out of the playoffs entirely. So, just as much as the Lakers can go and climb to the top, the Lakers could easily drop and be down in the bottom. So it's rough. I mean, a week and a half ago, Lakers were 5 games over 500, just won the in-season tournament, and looked like a team that was ready to go and win the Larry O'Brien. And that's what's so frustrating. We've seen this team play well. We've seen this team blow guys out. We saw this team go 7-0 in the in-season tournament and every night show up with energy and effort and play real good brand of basketball. And for whatever reason, got back from that and we've been terrible. Terrible. We've won what? 1 game since? Something like that? 2 games since? It's terrible. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass a question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you think the Lakers are a mess? Think the Lakers are in shambles? How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. See you all in the next one. Thank you.